I want to ask about what we did last week with our challenge, but the people who were given the challenge ain't really here yet, haven't got here yet. But the challenge was to do a 3-day fast from Tuesday to Thursday. Were you able to jump on that one? Huh? You didn't jump on that one. Well, we did from Tuesday to Thursday fast where we didn't eat anything starting, well, when we left from eating Monday night, our dinner, we didn't eat anything until, well, we haven't eaten yet. We will eat after we leave here. And after we leave here. So a couple of them should come and tell their testimony probably next week or later if they come in here and talk about it. But my theme for the night is pretty much how to conserve your reserve. How many people in here want energy? You want to have more energy? I'm talking about where you really can run around and do some flips or something. When last time you went skipping down the street? Hmm? When last time you woke up just with singing? Woke up, I mean, just singing with a song in your heart. I mean, actually singing. You woke up to a song. Excellent. That's good energy. That's good energy. It's good emotion. Good mindset. All right. What I'm going to do, I'm going to define nerve energy. It's a concept we call nerve energy. It's power, functioning power. We're going to define that. You're going to know the definition of nerve energy. I know you might be saying, well, what is that? Is it dealing with my nerves, or do I be jittery, or what? But before I'm finished, you're going to understand what nerve energy is. And it's human nerve energy. We're also going to find out some habits that deplete that nerve energy and some habits that enhance that nerve energy. We're also going to identify those nerve energy habits. We're also going to talk about a diet that does not constitute as a human diet. And y'all know what humans is, right? You can tell the characteristic between a human and a non-human. So we're going to talk about the diet that qualifies as a nerve depleting diet and one that qualifies as a energy enhancing diet. I'm going to get you to understand a little bit about the acid forming diet. There's a way of eating that produces acid in your body. And this acid irritates your cells. And that irritation causes your body to produce mucus. That mucus is what helps to coat the body and protect it from that irritation. This is a mucus that is going to have to be now drained out of your body. Now, this drainage is what? Where's this drainage got to go to? It got to come from your nose. It got to come from under your arm. It got to come out of your skin. So you start smelling a little funny. You start having a drip from your nose. You develop this thing, might be called a cold. Then there's a diet that is alkaline forming diet. A diet that actually gives your body elements that it needs to help it stay healthy. We're going to talk about the diet that cannot be called our natural diet. I don't care how many times the doctors talk about you need to eat in these basic groups and all type of stuff, basic food groups and all kind of things. But we're going to show you that it's no way possible that the human body can sustain itself on such a diet. We're also going to talk about the difference between empty calories. A lot of the foods that we eat, we just eating empty calories. That's why we stay hungry. We can't never get satisfied because we're not eating what our body needs. So our body is steady calling for something. It's not getting what it asks for. So we're going to talk about that versus high density food. I'm also going to hit briefly on supplements. You know, a lot of people want to go run to these supplements and they get carried by any type of supplement that come on the market. They'll come, somebody will say, hey, the healing effects of garlic, the healing effects of something else. Every little healing thing that come about, they run to it. So we're going to talk about these supplements and how dangerous they is to the human body. And I'm also hit on a couple of little diets because we know about these diets that we keep hearing about, the Atkins diet. We're going to talk a little bit about the South Beach diet. We're going to talk a little about Weight Watchers. We're going to talk a little bit about Jenny Craig and even raw food diet. So we need to know about these things. We can see which one of these are really true and if there are any benefit to the human body or to the human diet. Also, we're going to talk about how to eliminate nerve depleting habits and how to get rid of nerve depleting robbers. Now, what is a robber? Come to steal. So robbers steal your energy. Energy robbers steal your energy. Energy enhancers do what? Gives you energy. So it enhances. So we're going to find out how to eliminate the nerve energy robber. We're going to find out how to put them in jail, in other words, where they can stop robbing your energy. Now, in defining human energy, there's a doctor named Dr. Douglas Graham. He's one of the experts. He's a modern day expert. In this day and time, he's alive right now. He's an expert on sports nutrition and has trained some of the leading athletes that you hear about every day winning gold medals and all type of stuff. He said in the health science, the term energy is defined as a low voltage of electrical current. It's a low voltage of electrical current that is produced by your brain during sleep. All right? It's a low electrical current that is produced in your brain when you are asleep and runs through the body's nervous system. It goes from the brain, goes down the spinal cord, then go to your peripheral nerve, and then go to the cell and give power to it. And the cell acts. Just like Georgia Power. Georgia Power is what? The generator of energy for all of Georgia. Now, Georgia Power is the power plant. They produce the energy. Then they run down these big old power lines you see on the highway. And then they run, those big power lines turn into little itty bitty lines that you see right down the street here. And then it comes here to the building. And we got lights. Same thing with the body. The brain is Georgia Power. The spinal cord is those big long power lines. The peripheral nerves are the little lines that run down the street that hook up to the house. The cell is the building. You get function when Georgia Power is operating correctly. Georgia Power shut down at any time. Somebody's going to be without power. Who's going to be without power? The most important things are going to keep power. White House, fire station, hospital, police station. Little old us ain't going to have power. So where we're wasted. The human body has the same intellect. When you're not generating enough power in the brain, because you can only generate it through what? During where?
Rest.
Sleep, rest. You can only generate energy when sleeping and rest. So if you're not generating enough, then you're not going to be producing enough energy. So everybody in Georgia or everybody in your body, look at your body as being Georgia. So everybody in Georgia somebody going to be without power if you don't generate enough. So who's going to be without the power? You know, the more vital places in Georgia is going to be what? Have the power. So the brain, the kidney, the heart, the vital organs are going to have what? Energy. But the other organs or cells and tissues are going to have to give up their energy for the more vital one, the one that's going to keep the organism going. If your toe has to fall off and turn gangrene to have power for the rest of the body or to use that tissue for the rest of the body to survive, guess what it's going to do? It's going to let that toe fall off. That's when you see the body start degenerating. And you start seeing stuff stop functioning. Think of your energy as an alternator. The alternator does what to the car? It generates energy to send to the battery. That battery runs all the accessories for the car. If that generator is not generating, that battery soon what? Runs dead. And the functions start going out in the car. But if you wish to have that car run smooth, run powerfully, what? Keep it charged. If you wish to have the body run what? Smooth, with power, vigor, you must what? Keep it charged. I was telling somebody today, it's good to take this thing that they used to do down there, well, they still do it in Mexico, they call it the CS. And back in the days, they call it Noonan here in America. In Spain, I think they got a thing that they got where they shut down. In Japan, they shut down during certain times, during the lunch hours, the hard hours, and everybody had to just rest. Nobody do anything. People leave their works to go home and take a nap until and then they come back in the evening and go back to work. So they have a chance to get rest or recharge. Imagine if you was taking a horse up a hill, and that horse going up that hill will die if it go the whole journey straight with no rest. Now you can say, hey, I want to save time and I'm gonna make it there. But in making it all the way there, you kill the horse. But you'll make it there, but your horse did. Now let's say that you gave that horse at least 1 or 2 hours rest. And then you made it. You made it there, an hour late, but however, you're there and you got a what? A live horse to make it back. Right? So it's imperative that you get rest. So when you wake up in the morning time, you can keep your energy high by what? In the middle time, take you a break. Take a rest. That'll keep your energy high. Then when you get home at night, you'll still have high energy. You go to sleep and go ahead and carry it even higher. Then you can carry that extra energy and put it in a reserve bank that you can use for a later time. When in case like a big lion start chasing you, a hungry lion, or you got to pick your car up off your child or something like that. The energy can come from somewhere. But if you don't have the energy in you, you won't have no movement. All right? Nerve energy depleting habits are habits that reduce your nerve energy. Remember we say robbers are people who steal from you. The reduction of nerve energy will short circuit your ability to have good health, in other words. You won't have good performance, but you won't have good endurance and you won't have generation of maximum physical power. Because when your cells are old and outdated, they can't generate good energy. Just like a conductor, a solar conductor. If it's old and worn out, you're not going to have good conduction. You got to go and put up some new panels and stuff like that. But a new panel can generate a bunch of energy in here. Well, that's the same thing with the body. When your cells are outdated and you don't regenerate it by keeping your blood clean and eating the right stuff, your cells are dying and getting old. That's why we age, because we don't regenerate the cell. The cell is said to live forever if you keep it from starvation and poison. But we don't do that. We poison ourselves daily and we starve ourselves by never eating the right stuff. So our cells been starving and they what? Been living in filth because they're living in their own filth. So they're being poisoned. And those are the only two ways to kill a cell. You can't kill a cell no other way except by hitting it. So the cell is said to have lived forever if we just take care and live right. All right, let's identify some of these nerve depleting habits. You know, a lot of people say, hey, well, where I'm depleting my nerve habits at? I do everything right. I go to sleep at night. I get 8 hours of sleep. You know, I should be good and energized. But we don't know where we're wasting our energy. And one of them is uncleanliness. All right? Uncleanliness, externally and internally. Externally, as in people who don't want to wash, who's scared to get in the shower. Internally, as people who put wrong foods and drinks and those medicines in their body. It's poison. So you're unclean on the inside. Number two, unclean air. I know y'all can pretty much recite these in the back of your head right now. I want you to be able to recite them when you're sleeping, in your sleep. I know you're probably saying you're able to do that now. That's good. But unclean air. How many of us check our homes up under our cabinets? You know, a lot of them contain poisonous chemicals that are polluting our air and the blood cells of our body. Because when we're breathing in, what you think that air going at and those gases? What you think that bleach going at? It's going into your blood. Just like the oxygen, when the oxygen is exchanged in the tissues of the lung, it's osmosis over into the blood. It's changed over into the blood. And then the blood carries the oxygen all through the body to every cell and distributes it to it. Now, let's say that you breathe in some noxious gas. Let's say, for example, you had to go to the doctor and you go to a medical doctor because you had to have surgery, and he gives you this thing over your face to put you to sleep. What is that? Gas. You breathe in this stuff and it does what to you? It affects you, puts you to sleep, goes and kills the cell. It dumbs you out. It wastes all your energy. It knocks you out like getting knocked across the head. You never saw nobody leave the emergency room wide awake, full of vigor, but they've been in there sleeping all this time, or was it asleep? Now look at it when we take medicines that put us to sleep, that put us in a coma, in other words. When we take these sleeping aids ain't putting us to sleep, they're knocking us out. Just like the gas is what? Knocking you out. You don't wake up from surgery rearing to go, but you were sleeping, according to them. Think about the man who sits in, gets mad at, his wife leaves him, takes everything from him, and he sits in the, he want to get a gun and go in the garage and kill himself, but he end up just have enough of the nerve to cut the car on and just stay in the garage and just sit there and just breathe in the carbon monoxide. What happens to him? He died. So what is the quality of our air? Think about it. We sit in these buildings and do what? We even smell in here right now that it's toxic for us, right? Because we smell what? Take a deep breath for a second. You smell the incense. That's toxic to us. Those air wicks, those Febrezes and stuff like that. You remember what Febreze say? You can have a dead chicken back there. Just spray over it. You won't smell a thing. So those things allow us to what? Live in filthiness. It's cover up. It's artificial covering. We have to stay away from those things. And most times we be burning those things in a closed area. That's why it's so bad for us. Because we be in these places closed up in them. Where is the new air coming from? Do we have plants and trees in here to produce oxygen? Well, where's the new oxygen coming from? We got the door closed. So every time we take a breath, we're taking out the available oxygen in here and exchanging it for carbon dioxide. So the quality of our air gets weaker and weaker. That's why we start getting sleepy in here when we be in buildings. And we be out of the sun. That's why you get like that. You're not getting oxygen. It makes the brain go to sleep. That's why they give you the gas to knock out your oxygen when you go to sleep. Impure water. A lot of us been drinking this chlorinated water and fluoridated water or contaminated well water with poison, the blood cells of your body. We drink these alkaline waters and all these type of healing waters these people so-called say that they possess. They even have machines that they say that they can make the water pure for you and all type of stuff, or alkaline the water. But that makes you wonder, you're only supposed to have water. A lot of people think that you need to get nutrition from water. Water don't supposed to be nothing but H2O. Why do you need vitamins in your water? Why do you need minerals in your water? That's what you got your food for. All you need water for is to hydrate the cells of the body for its liquid needs. You don't need it for food. That's what you got: apples, pear, peaches, plum. All those things are full of your vitamins, and then they full of your water too, if you look at it. So you wouldn't even have to be drinking water. But look at the water that they got us drinking. They got us drinking out of these faucets. And you know, that's fluoride. And we talk about that every time. You sitting there drinking stuff that is in rat poison. That fluoride is in rat poison. We brush our teeth with toothpaste that got rat poison stuff in it. If you look on the MSDS data thing, it tells you if you ingest any amount of fluoride, call and get help. It's poisonous in any amount. Matter of fact, if you read on the back of your toothpaste, it'll tell you if you ingest something cause the poison of teeth. We wonder why we getting sick around here. We just ingesting poison. It's poison. Do the research on fluoride. As a matter of fact, I tell you what. Imagine what fluoride is. Y'all ever heard of a drug called Prozac? The main ingredient in there is fluorine. It's the derivative of fluoride. And it's the same thing, it's supposed to have the same effect. Matter of fact, in the Nazi camp, they put fluoride in the drinking water of their people to keep them docile and calm. So that's why it's being dumped in. It might sound like a conspiracy, being dumped into your water to keep you calm. Y'all will stay calm. You stay cool. You stay relaxed. But it's the same ingredient in Prozac. And what Prozac do? Dumb a person down. Your person on Prozac, they don't want to do nothing. All right. And that's why we're not doing nothing. That's why nobody in the city of you know where is of any no good. Because we're being poisoned. But when we go to distilled drinking water, we won't have that problem no more, will we? Because why? Distilled drinking water is what? Only pure drinking water. Think about it, man. Distilled water is just water. What is water? How y'all doing? I'm doing all right. You have to sit anyway. Think about it. H2O. H2O. H2O is water, right? Y'all with me? H2O is water, right? Now, say that I add anything else to it. What does it become? It becomes something else. It's no longer water. Then your body got to do what now? You got to change and clean this water up before it can use it. So you're giving yourself dirty water when you add anything to it. You got these people giving you spring water, mineral water, different type of things. The body can only use one thing. Can we put anything other than gas in our car? We smarter than that, ain't it? What happens if we use some other fluid than oil in the oil thing? We'll have some problems. So imagine that. We're smarter with our car than we are with our body. The car, we get another one. You can't get another body. Inadequate rest and sleep. Are you robbing yourself of adequate sleep? Remember we talked about what's the only way that we can get energy in the first beginning? What's the only way to get energy? Yeah. What's the way to get energy? Sleep and rest. Because see, it's like this. You get energy no matter what. You're constantly getting energy. You remember we said nerve energy is a low grade of electricity that's generated in your brain and created faster when you're what? At sleep. So, and when you're sleeping at rest, that means you're still. So you're not wasting any energy. If you're not wasting any energy, where's the energy going? It's being put in a reserve bank account. If I give you $100 every day and you're not spending it on anything, what you going to be doing with that extra money? Putting it in the bank. But if you're spending more money than I can give you every day, you go in debt. You have to go into your reserves. Eventually, you reach a point of what? Depletion. This is how we go into that stage of what? Toxemia. This is this adage that we always use. We say, hey, you get up in the morning, and I know a lot of y'all might remember me saying it all the time. If you get up in the morning, don't get out of bed before 6. I don't care if you wake up. Do not get out of bed until after 6. If you wake up, just sit there and just lay there and just rest in your mind and do some deep breathing exercise. But don't get out of bed till after 6. When you get out of bed, you got to get out of bed after 6 though. Don't lay in there really after that. Get out of bed. Don't eat before 10 o'clock. Never eat before 10 o'clock. Do not eat after 6 o'clock. Never eat after 6 o'clock. Do not stay up later than 10 o'clock. And it says you'll live 10 times 10. That's a formula to have you live 10 times 10. Get out of bed after 6 o'clock. Rise after 6. Don't eat before 10. Don't eat after 6. I know, that's a format I gave you. This is the adage, a formula that somebody else had that said that you can live 100 years if you follow this simple formula. Get out of bed by 6, out there doing something, be productive. Don't eat before 10. All right. Don't eat after 6, because you're not going to have food on your belly trying to go to sleep, so you'll get proper rest. So from 10 to 6 in the morning, you got 8 hours of sound sleep. All right. You only have a small window to eat. You got 8 hours to eat. How many times do you actually eat in 8 hours? Especially if you really in the morning time, you really ain't hungry. Usually when you get home and you get settled and you get out of your work, that's when you really get like kind of bored and start getting into your mind and your thoughts. That's when you start getting hungry. Matter of fact, that's what I was supposed to talk about tonight, helping us get away from our emotional unbalance and addictive habits and compulsivity. But what we have to do is we have to go to bed early. If we go to bed a little early, we won't have those cravings that we catch at nighttime. We won't be looking at the television and the television giving us all these commercials and showing us the chocolate brownie with, coming straight out of the oven with the walnuts and almonds on it, and also have the milk all cold in the glass, and it just got you hungry. And then you turn and then you pass against the cooking channel. And the cooking channel, they got a bunch of people up there cooking against each other. Then you turn to the next channel, you got these people barbecuing. Next thing you know, you at the store. 12 o'clock at night. Inadequate sunshine and natural light. A lot of us hide from the sun. We try to act like bats. But what is the fate of a bat? What do they always say about bats? Huh? Blind as a bat. You want to be blind as a bat? I tell you what, go into the dark and don't come out for a week and see how your vision is. See if your eyes are able to adjust. I tell people all day, hey, even with you can get your eyes corrected by going out there looking at the sun. It'll help with you restoring your eyesight. It'll help aid your body in restoring your eyesight. But you got to take the glasses off. Because think about it. When we're wearing glasses out here, think about when you was young. Y'all still young, but imagine us when we were young and we used to be out there playing, and we used to be playing with magnifying glasses and the ants. What we used to be doing? Burning the ants. With what? Glasses. Now, what do we think is those things on our eyes? Are they not magnifying glasses and we be out in the sun? And what we think we doing? We're burning our lens. That's why I get harder and harder every year. We have to go back to the doctor. Hey, you need to get a stronger lens. Until our eyes become so hard, we end up with the glaucomas and all that hardening on the cataracts. But it's us just not going out there into the sun, not obeying nature. Notice that you didn't have to go to the store and take no supplements yet. I didn't talk about no supplements for you to take yet. I didn't talk about no hard thing for you to do. I just told you to go out there and get some natural sunlight, things that you're supposed to be doing anyhow. Abnormal environmental temperatures, hot or cold. Notice that, a lot of times, a lot of us like to take hot showers. And what happens when we come out of that hot shower? We sweat. What do we think that sweat, what does it take to produce sweat? Water, right? Water from the body, right? But what powers that process? Did the water come out on its own? Like, does the water have power to just come out the body and start cooling? or is that the body using up energy to get the water from different areas and to cool the body down? So that what does what to your reserve? Every time you heighten up your body to act, it what diminishes the energy. Every time you use your phone, what happens to your battery? It goes down. Every time you use this body, guess what happens to your energy? All right. Every time you lay down and go to sleep, guess what it does? Are you a slave to addiction? Do you have self-control over your emotions? Are you one that allow yourself to just get sad over anything? Do you allow yourself to worry about everything? Do you let yourself fear about everything? Those things can kill you. Fear is the number one killing emotion. To fear about something would make a person's heart stop or bust. We done seen people get shocked from fright. You know, you can scare a person, they scared and fear and their heart bust. Imagine you just sitting there just fearing. You done seen people develop neurotic diseases from fright so much. You see where I'm coming from? So you got to stop and control your thought pattern. If you allow your mind to go run wild, it'll start taking over you. Right? This is why Paul tell you, hey, all things pure, all things worthy, you think on these things. Purpose. A man with no purpose, what? Useless. He have self-pity and he have nothing. He have nothing to look forward to. So it's imperative that you have purpose. A person with no purpose have no spirit. You got to be full of the spirit. You ever been to a basketball game? Well, let's say you've been to a football game. Say, let's say Windsor Forest, let's say Beach and Savannah High playing. Beach and Savannah High. Now, you hear everybody making all the noise, bulldog, bulldog, bulldog. You look over there on one stand, everybody's sitting down, not doing nothing, making no noise. Who would you say won in the game if you couldn't see the scoreboard? Bulldogs, because they don't want what? Making all the noise, acting up, everybody acting crazy in the stand and there. They got the spirit. Are you a part of life? Are you in life making noise? Or are you just sitting down being quiet because you lose? Do you have spirit? Or do you have purpose? Are you lacking self-esteem? Do you have meaningful goals? Do you work excessively? Do you exercise excessively? Do you eat the SAD diet? Anybody know what the SAD diet is? Standard American diet. What's the standard American diet? Give me an example. Hamburger, hot dog, French fries, potato chips. The standard American diet is the worst diet you can eat because it defies the human body. It can't digest that type of food. It's like trying to bake a pie and a cake in the same oven. When one required 500 degrees and one required 2. How can you gotta put it in between. The cake never gonna get baked, pie gonna burn up too fast. Imagine when you put a piece of bread and the meat into your stomach. One requires the juice in your stomach to be strong. One requires the juice in your stomach to be weak. But when you put both of them in there, you neutralize the juice. So the meat ain't getting digested, neither is the bread getting digested. So what's happening to them while they're sitting in there? What happened to your meat when you sit it on the counter and never put it in the refrigerator, you leave it in the bag and eat? Yo, huh? How long it take? 2 or 3 days to really break down? About a day? About a day. All right. Okay, how about bread? When you leave bread on the counter in the bag in some heat, around some water in the bag, moist in there, what you think gonna happen to it? And it's dark in the plate. Huh? Mold, decompose, rotten, ferment. Same thing in the human body. But the human body breaks it down 1,000 times faster. Notice that you done ate something and burped it right back out. It's an instant distilling. Think about it. So when you put these food in there and they start, if they're not going to digest, the body automatically start trying to break it down in a different form. See, your body can only use food if it's digested. See, it's a difference when we eat food. Don't mean just because we eat it, it's getting digested. Just because we throw a bunch of food in there, you think it's just because you don't see it come back out like that, it's being digested? No, it's not being digested. It's wasteful now. The body can't use it, so it just sent a bunch of acid there to burn it up. So now it's a bunch of acid ash in your body, irritating your body. So the food is not being used. All these things that I'm telling you are a nerve robber. And what an energy nerve robber. And what does a robber do? He comes to steal. That's what a robber does. He steals. So everything I'm telling you right now is robbing you of your nerve supply. It's a free thing that you get. You don't have to pay for your energy. All you have to do is go to sleep. You get it free. Every man got this inheritance. It's a gift. All of us freely can get it. All you have to do is tap into it. I can't get your energy. I got to sleep for myself. You got to sleep for yourself. You got to sleep for yourself. Every man, woman, child got to sleep for themselves. So this is a personal thing you got to do. If you wish to have your health, your energy up, this is something you got to take for yourself. You got to go to sleep. All right? So it's vital to you. But it's the same for every person. Every person must get to sleep. All right? So all these things are what? Depleting our energy. What kind of diet does not qualify as a energy depleting habit? It's a question I want to ask you. What kind of diet does not qualify, will not rob you of your energy? What diet will not rob you of your energy? A diet that is alkaline forming. Acid destroys. Alkaline builds up. So you want a diet that is alkaline, not acidic. So a diet that will not rob you of your energy is a diet that is alkaline and not acidic. Also, it's a diet that uses specific food combinations. We don't just put anything into the human stomach. We make sure what we put in there can be digested. If we put 2 items in there, we make sure that the stomach can deal with those 2 items. Or otherwise, we won't eat them together. This is what we call food combination. And this is what we teach. That diet, we said, cannot be acid form. And our diet would not put us to sleep. Notice that if food that we think is the standard American diet will give us energy, because, people tell you, hey, man, you need to eat breakfast where you can have energy. You need to eat a heavy breakfast. But look, when we eat heavy, what happened to us? Thanksgiving. What happened at Thanksgiving? Everybody can look at that right now. What happened at Thanksgiving, Christmas, and all these other festivities? You got to go to sleep. Why are you going to sleep if you just ate all this food that's supposed to give you energy? Huh? Why are you going to sleep? Because it requires energy to what? Digest the food. The food would not be ready for energy for a whole nother, possibly 24 hours. So how is that food of any good for you if you told to hurry up and eat some breakfast? It's not necessary. Let me get you to understand why it's so important to eat a diet that is high in nutrients that nourish your body. And the only diet that is like that is an alkaline diet. The condition of your blood, let me tell you, everything you eat is either acid or ash, or alkaline. So anytime you eat acid food, it changes the quality of your blood. It makes your blood become acid. Because everything you eat got to turn to blood, all right? Everything you eat turn to blood. Say it to me. Everything you eat got to turn to blood, all right? Am I right or right? You had to say it right. I said, am I right? Right. If it's acid, it's going to possibly kill you because your blood cannot become acidic. If your blood drop and become acidic just a little bit, it's supposed to be between 7.35 and like 7.45. If it go in between, over or under, it'll start causing disease in your body and then possibly death. If it get too alkaline, it'll cause death. If it get too acidic, it'll cause death. You got to maintain between that 7.35 and 7.45. Now, let's say you eat something that causes it to drop. Now, the body will die if that blood changed. So what the body does, in all its wisdom, it steals from Peter. Say, hey, Peter, give me some of your calcium. That's the bone. He tells the muscle, hey, give me your magnesium. He tells the nerve, hey, give me your potassium. I need to make sure this blood is balanced. So all these are alkaline minerals that you're leaching from your bone, you're leaching from your muscle, you're leaching from your nerves, just to make sure your blood stay balanced. Otherwise, you'll die. So the body steals from Peter to pay Paul. But in so doing, Paul, Peter is suffering. Peter is suffering. Peter is suffering, though. Think about it. Peter giving up all his minerals. So his bones get messed up. His bones get soft. Because he got to give you his minerals. So that's what we see in older people, right? They done gave all their calcium away and their bones break easy now. What happened to the muscle? You see the wasting away in the muscles of people in old age, right? Because they done gave away all their magnesium. And you see the potassium, the nerves what? Jittering. Because they don't have no potassium. So it's because we've been what? Been stealing all these years. It don't happen overnight. It's built up. Years of stealing. Robbing ourselves. What a robber does? He steals. What's the example of an acid-forming diet? Anything cooked. When you cook the food, you what? Destroy the food. Enzymes are in living food. Enzymes are in living food. Enzymes are in living food. What is an enzyme? It's a catalyst that makes things work. Metabolism works by the process of enzymes. You build up your body and tear your body down with enzymes. You break down and digest food and assimilate food with enzymes. So enzymes is a major thing. Now, you can receive enzymes from the food you eat, or you can use up the body enzyme in digesting the food you eat. Let me get you to understand that. When you eat alkaline food and raw, they are what? The enzymes are still in them because you destroy enzymes at 118 degrees. Notice that you can't allow your body to go over what? They start going over 102, they just start saying, oh, you might die, you might destroy your enzymes, right? They don't want you to go over 102 degrees or 103 degrees. They start saying you have a fever, right? So enzymes are destroyed at 118 degrees. So when you destroy your food, then your body has to steal from its enzyme bank to deal and break down that food you got. But if you eat the food raw with the enzyme still in it, the body, the food itself will break down with the enzymes in it. And you won't have to steal from your enzyme bank. So your enzymes will stay building and repairing your body. And you won't be throwing them away to break down food. Are y'all following me? I know I said a lot. You don't have to steal from yourself. The bottom line is, how many people in here want to have energy? How do you get more energy? Rest. That's how you get it. How do you save that energy? Huh? How do you save energy? How do you save money? Huh?
Put it in your bank account.
Put it in the bank account. You said something.
I said, put it away.
Put it away. I heard something else.
Put it in the safe.
Put it in the savings. No, stop spending it. That's what I really wait. If you want to have energy, stop spending it. And you spending it on your lifestyle habit. Stop spending it on that stuff. Let yours build up before and then spend it good. You know, don't spend your money on a bunch of cheap thrills. Man, nobody want no cheap thrills. I know what kind of thrills y'all talking about. Don't spend no money on no thrills. Remember, we talk about food combination. It's important about food combination. Certain foods cannot digest in the stomach. And we also tell people about the water drinking with their meal. When water stays in your stomach for less than 10 to 15 minutes, and then it's taken out of the stomach and sent into the blood. All right? Now, the enzymes that break down your food are water soluble, meaning that they dissolve in water. So if you eat and you drink water, the enzymes that supposed to break that food down will become diluted in the water, dissolve in the water, and go out of the stomach when the water go out of the stomach. But they're supposed to remain there for about 6 to 7 hours, digesting the food. So there's not going to be any enzymes there to digest the food for the next 5 to 6 hours. So guess what this food's going to be doing in this wet, dark, warm environment? Wet, dark, warm environment. Fermenting, rotting, decomposing, putrefying. When we have dead carcasses on the road, what comes to it? A parasite, right? Buzzards, scavengers of the earth, right? So when we have filth inside of us, what we think going to come to us? Parasite. But they don't cause our sickness. We cause them to come to us because of our sickness. They come to eat us out of our filth. But they won't come to us if we didn't have no filth. If we have filth laying in here, you think roaches just going to come if it's clean? No, they come when filth, when food here for. You get rid of their food, they dip. Why we think germs going to be out the cause of our disease? They get at home and dip too when we clean up the filth. The bottom line, if you want to maximize your nerve energy, you got to start wasting. The rob and the pay Peter. You remember when acid come in your body, it needs to be neutralized. So you gotta go get something alkaline to neutralize it. Vinegar is what? Acid. It burns, right? How can you dilute it? With water, and water is what? Alkaline. So you dilute it, you changes its what? Strength. So that's what you make it safe, where it don't burn anymore. That's what the body does. When you put something acidic in there, it's about to destroy everything in this path. So what the body does is steal and take some alkaline minerals from somewhere and says, hey, I need to make this suitable way to not do damage. So I got to neutralize. So it'll be neutralizing your body, not causing damage anymore until it can be eliminated out. But in so doing all that leaching, you're weakening the structures that you're taking it from. It's like you playing that game Jenga or something. That one where you take out the little stick and you make the structure long every time you take out the stick and then suddenly it collapses down and everything. Well, that's what you're doing every time. You playing that every time you eat an acid forming diet. You're pulling from your bone structure. And it's getting weaker every time. Every time you eat an acid forming diet, you're pulling from the muscle one of them little sticks. Every time you eat, you're pulling a stick. Every time that muscle getting weaker and weaker, it's degenerating. Your nerves shaking more and more every time you eat something nasty. Matter of fact, we noticed that in Parkinson's disease or paralysis agitant, that's the shaky palsy where you have people, shaking with the dementia and stuff like that. We noticed when we started fasting some of them, the shaking went away. We fasted for like 14 days straight. They didn't eat anything. The shaking stopped. They went back to eating. Shaking came back. But it came back slightly. We did another fast for them. Disappeared again. We fed them again. It came back a little bit this time. We fasted them again. Stayed gone. Ain't had no more problem with it yet. But we clean up what? The condition. We know that there's only one problem. There's one cause to all disease. You know, we can look out there for, hey, I'm looking for the cause of such and such. I want to know what's causing my chest to hurt. We know what it is. Toxemia, innervation. All disease comes from what? Poison blood. Poison blood is the root to the tree. It's to the root to the body. Every cell in your body must dig into your blood in which to get its nutrients from, in which to dump its waste in. So it's the root to every cell. It's the source of life to every cell. If a cell could not dip its hand into that blood, that cell would die. Because it would have nowhere to get its nutrients from. And it would have no way in which way to get rid of its waste. So the blood is vital to the body. That's why they call it vital fluid. It's vital to the body. Now, think about it. When this blood is the root, so when that becomes messed up, everything that's fed by the root is going to be what? Messed up. If you got a bunch of trees planted right here and the whole ground is messed up, the soil is rotten and dirty and filthy, a landfill, none of the trees will grow. Because all of them are subject to the same what? Soil. So every cell in your body is subject to the same soil, blood. And when that blood is toxic, every cell is going to have to suffer. Now, the cells that break down the fastest is the ones that you abuse the most. So then you start suffering more. It's the weakest link. If you work your hands more, now you're going to suffer a hand disease. If you overuse your kidney, you will suffer a kidney disease. If you overuse your lung, you have lung disease. Whatever organ or tissue you abuse and your body reach a point of no toleration no more, it's going to release that toxin through that route. How do you overwork the kidney? Drinking too much water or having too much toxins in there that the kidneys have to work. See, the kidneys go work until it dies. Every cell in your body got to work when they have the power. If the power is there supplied to it, it goes to work. Once the supply of power fails in it, it can't do no work. That's why the toxins build up in the body. So if you keep putting them in there, you keep putting it to work. That's just like how you tire out your husband. Keep working him. Never give him a rest. He'll be tired. He'll be run down in no time. Do the same thing with the kidney. Keep putting bad stuff in your body. Your body got to keep filtering. Look at the diabetic. The diabetic got a bunch of what? Toxins in their body. A bunch of what? Sugar. That's accumulating in that's about to threaten the body. So that person what? Keeps going to the bathroom and urinating. So they eventually what? Have kidney failure. Because they kept going to the bathroom to get rid of this extra sugar that they were unwilling to stop eating. That's how they killed their kidney. But all that can be restored if they follow the 10 ways of health and stop with their energy depleting habits. Acidifying food, especially soul food. You know, most of the soul food got what? Full of fat. You got fat in everything. Remember I used to tell y'all, man, my mama, they used to have us eating fat back and rice. That was our dinner. They used to fry a bunch of fat back and then pour the grease and the fat back in the rice and just cook you have a bunch of greasy rice, greasy fat back rice. And that rice was so greasy, the grease was still sliding off the spoon when you was digging it up and putting it in your mouth greasy. Everything was greasy. But after we got finished eating, all we could do was go to sleep. I mean, we was sleeping while we was eating. Before we could even finish eating, we was already yawning. Because that fat was putting us to sleep. A lot of us don't understand that fat is a coater. Oil, fat, oil coats. Oil is a fat. It coats everything. Like you put oil in the car. It coats, right? So oil, it coats. So you got hemoglobin in your blood. That's your oxygen carrying cell. And what happens is when you eat fattening food, it coats that cell. So that cell don't have that much space to bind to the oxygen. So no oxygen is in the blood being circulated. So you can't think. Your mind is being suffocated. You goes to what? Into a coma. That's what they call the itis. You go into a food coma. You go into lethargy. You go to sleep. You can't think right. You just go to sleep. Empty calorie. The foods that we're eating are void of their calories and nutrients and stuff like that. When we eat these foods, if you notice that they've been extracted of their enzymes, we read on the box, it says it's been fortified with enzymes and phosphorus and all kind of inorganic materials. But what they did was they got some wheat and they got that wheat and they stripped that wheat of all its nutrients and its enzymes and they made bread. But in so doing, making the bread, they put the enzymes, some man-made enzymes back in there and say they fortified it. Because with living enzymes, it couldn't last on the shelf. Notice living stuff dies and decays. Unliving stuff don't die. Look at McDonald's fries. If you leave something in your car, you will find them a year later. McDonald's fries. That stuff ain't real. None of that stuff real. Look at the chicken nuggets. That ain't even chicken. Because they season it. You taste the seasoning. No one like a chicken. If you was to go and bite on the back of a chicken running around, you'll say it's disgusting. You only like it when you cook it and throw seasoning on it and you fry it and stuff. But you'll never eat just a chicken. But you'll eat a banana. You never have to do nothing with a banana. You never have to cook it. Or you can just peel it right there and eat it with gusto. But if you had to go out there and kill your own chicken and bite on him and eat him just as it is, you'll never touch that chicken. You'll never touch the cow. You'll never touch the pig. You'll never touch any of those animals. If you thought about it, if you had to do it yourself. And notice that you're not even an animal to go out there and chase after animals. You was a gatherer to go and pick and gather easy stuff, you know. You're not running to catch no stuff like that. Animals are equipped for their diet. We're not equipped to run behind animals or anything like that. That was something for a survival mechanism when man couldn't grow. That was him being lazy, I think. All right. Great.
Yeah, you got your own fruit tree or something.
You should. That would be good. We all can grow trees. Matter of fact, that's all we should have is fruit trees. All them pine and oak trees they got growing around here, we can't eat off that stuff. It's good for beauty for the eye, but we can't eat it. People are dying from starvation when they could just plant an apple tree. But imagine if every tree in the world was an apple tree. Would there be any starvation going on? And we'd still be able to breathe. Matter of fact, we're breathing better. Think about it. So it's good for us to plant trees. I used to plant a lot of trees. Matter of fact, I'm going to be planting a lot of trees soon. You should think about it. Go into planting trees. Think about it too. Imagine this. Imagine you at your age. You start saving you some money and you grab you an acre of land. Say you have that acre of land by the time you're 18 years old. And you start planting you an acre of apple trees. Now, acre apple trees will give you a lot of apple trees. I mean, a lot of apple trees. You probably have like 1,000 apple trees up there. Now, every apple tree is going to give you probably about 3,500 pounds of apples every year. Now, you're not going to have to do anything else to this tree once you plant it. You don't have to go out there and plant it again every year, go out there hoeing up the yard, and none of that mess. All you have to do is go out there and pick your apples. They're going to grow every year for you. Now, you can't eat all them apples. But say you get with a food chain and say, hey, man, I got an acre of apple. Just give me $40,000 a year and you can have my whole acre. But I'll make sure you get all the apples. You got you $40,000 coming in, residual income from nothing. From something that money do grow on trees. When they say money don't grow on trees, it does. Think about it now. And then every year from then you add you another acre to it and you add another acre, a peach tree. You do the same thing. By the time you get 50, you have a retirement out of this world because your tree's still going to be growing. Those trees grow for 1,000 years. They'll feed you, your grandkids, your grandkids, grandkids, your grandkids, grandkids, and nobody has to work no more. Just think about it. That's something to give you to think about. Now, let's briefly go over this these diets that I told you we want to talk about. You know how you have the Atkins diet, and I'm going to get up out of this here in just a minute. But we got the Atkins diet, the Zone diet, the South Beach diet, Weight Watchers, Jenny Craig, and the raw food. Now let's look at all these diets are acidified diets. All of these diets have been processed. None of them deal with food combined. None of them teach you the benefits of not drinking water. None of them teach you how to be emotionally calm when you eat. Do you think you can digest something when you're irate, sad, fear, worried? What the Bible even tell you? Say what? Before you take something, what? Make sure you're in the right state of mind. You know, make sure you're worthy to take the food. Don't say a prayer over it to calm yourself down. Don't be excited at the table. You know, some of us, before we even get to the house, we tear it into the bar. You know, we ain't calmed down or nothing. You know, we be eating high strong. That food can't digest like that. Have you ever seen a snake? A snake go and eat, right? Something can come up there and about to attack him. What he does? Throw that up because he know he gotta go. He either gotta fight or flight. Right? So imagine when we sitting here eating and running and doing all type of stuff. Our body can't do two things at one time. Thank you. So, how can we eliminate these habits? By being clean. By making sure we have pure air and water. Making sure we get adequate rest and sleep. Adequate sunshine. Correct environmental temperature. Regular exercise. Emotional balance. Freedom from various addictions and addictive behaviors. Love and respect for all relationships, professional or personal. By implementing the alkaline diet. Get away from those acidic foods, those foods that's causing you harm for your body. Stay away from them for a time and let your body regenerate. But the only way your body can regenerate is through your blood. You got to first clean the blood. There's no regeneration without purification. You got to purify the blood first, and then those cells that get fed from the blood will be regenerated. But if you don't have good blood, there's no regeneration. Think of the blood as being Home Depot delivering repair stuff to the church. If there be no material on that truck, we can't repair nothing. So if there's nothing in the blood of which to repair your cell, there's no repairing going on. So think about it. All right? So here again, what my theme was, if you wish to have more energy, stop doing what? If you want to have more energy, stop doing what? Stop doing what? He said it. Stop spending it. If you wish to have more energy, stop spending it. Do we have any questions? You got organs in your body that clean your blood. It's already detoxifying organs in your body. They call it the lungs, they call it the kidneys, they call it the liver, and they call it the bowels. Those things keep your blood clean. When carbon builds up in your blood, it makes your body automatically takes a breath. Automatically. It makes you breathe. If it builds up faster, it'll make you breathe faster. If it's not built up so high, you take shorter breath. Right? Or your breath will be long. You take longer breaks. Same thing with the kidney. If there's no uric crystals in there building up, you don't run to the bathroom. If there's no sugar building up in the blood, you don't go to the bathroom. But when the sugar is in the blood, the kidneys go to work. Now, if the blood is toxic and those things are not working, that means they're tired. They're fatigued. You don't overwork them. Now you got to give them rest. How do you give them rest? What's the best way of rest? What's the best way of the rest when you give organs rest? Fast. You fast them from the thing that's causing them to work. You pull them away from the thing. You pull them away from the thing that's overworking. Like the stomach. If your stomach disease, stop feeding it. It'll rest and heal itself. Every time you keep feeding it, putting that food in there and it's decaying in there, it's irritating the stomach, causing it to harden. A hard stomach can't digest no food. If you keep irritating your hand, what happens to it? It eventually get hard because you keep harming it. It's going to build calluses. Same thing with the stomach. It's just like the hand, same tissue. So you just have to obey those 10 ways of health. Those 10 ways of health, you follow those, your body automatically regenerates itself. You don't have to even really know what it's doing. Just breathe fresh air. Get adequate sunlight. Eat the ideal foods. What's the ideal foods? Fruit, vegetables, nuts, and seeds. And how should you eat that? Raw, uncooked. And when you're in what type of mindset? And you're in the emotional calmness, and you need to eat those things in the right what? Combination. All right.
I know we use distilled water in the house now since I started class. With this new filter, zero water, is that okay?
It's not going to filter, but it will take out the hard sediment. See, distillation gets rid of the hard sediments and the gas chemicals in the water. See, a filter can only filter, it can't filter gas. It can only filter hard sediments and material. So that's all it's getting at. Right. That's why we use distilled water, because it breaks it down to the bare molecule, breaks it back down to H2O.
I was trying to use it with like cleaning the vegetables and stuff.
I still would use.
Okay.
I still would just use pure water with everything.
Okay.
And try not, if you're eating organic food, try not to wash your vegetables too much.
Okay.
Eat some of that dirt. That dirt good for you. B12 stuff. You know, no animals in nature sit there and wash you never seen a deer go and wash an apple before he bite into it or anything like that. But all that little stuff around that stem and stuff like that, that's where you get your
That's
B12 from.
If it's not organic.
If it's not organic, I would tell you to wash all that mess they got off of.
Okay.
And wash that mess off because they spray and stuff on it. So, but that's why I say at least incorporate a lot of organic or natural foods in your diet. It don't even have to be organic. It could be just natural, just grown without doing anything. That's better than organic because organic still use organic fertilizers and stuff like that. So it's still a toxin.
Okay.
I don't eat before 12.
I mean before 12,
Right.
yeah. And the first thing that we should eat are
Fruits. That's in anything.
Yeah. So normally I try to take my lunch break between 12 and 12:30.
Okay.
I don't always follow that.
Okay.
Sometimes it be 1 or 1:30 when I eat.
That's
But
cool.
it's always fruit.
That's good
It's
then.
always fruit.
You're doing great.
Yeah.
You're doing great. There's nothing wrong with that. You're doing great. Keep up with that. And then in the evening, do like how Pastor always say, salad, vegetable, plus one. Plus one other thing. Salad, steamed vegetables, plus one. That one can be either rice, or it can be bread, or it can be potatoes, or it can be meat. But don't do none of them together. You see what I'm saying? So your dinner is going to be salad, steamed vegetable, plus one. All right? That's the help. The one can be anything.
Yeah. And I kind of.
The one can be anything.
I kind of do that now.
Right. Just keep doing that. And try not to drink. Drink 10 to 15 minutes prior to your eating and wait 2 to 3 hours after. If you're doing fruit, you wouldn't even require really drinking.
Yeah, no, I don't.
Right.
And then like today and yesterday, which I am about that. Well, I'm not gonna say that.
Right.
They say I'm diabetic. I don't say that.
They haven't changed yet since you started?
But and that's like today and yesterday. I didn't eat a whole lot of fruit. I ate like 4 or 5 cherries, and I couldn't eat anymore.
4
And
or 5 cherries.
yeah, I had some cherries. And
You need to eat something else. You're not eating enough.
yeah, and then by the time about 4 or 5 o'clock, I got real shaky. I could tell my sugar had.
Or you still taking your medicine.
Yeah.
That's the problem right there. If you're not eating and putting sugar into your body, and you taking medicine to bring your sugar down, if it's not up and you're still taking medicine, guess what it's going to do? Right, and then you're going to start having the jittery feel. So if you eat healthier, check yourself before you take the medicine.
Okay.
I wouldn't just take medicine blindly myself. I would make sure that I have a reason to take it if I was. I'm not going to take it, period. That's just because what I know now. But back then, I would still want to check it prior to. Matter of fact, I used to check it to make sure I can get it under the high thing where I can go eat me some ice cream back in the day. That's what I used to do. I would kill myself.
And then I notice if I don't take it, it doesn't bother me at all. But if I take it, that's when I feel. I know.
So just pay attention to it.
Yeah.
That's where you can get away from that medicine. That's you getting your own self off of it. By you taking care of your body will reward you with this thing called health. It'll give you what you desire if you give it what it desires. And it desires rest, the right foods that it was designed for. You want to know that? Go to Genesis 1:28 and 1:29. It'll tell you the ideal diet for man, for him to have lived forever. Only when he went to start eating like, what the guy named is Noah, he had to go down and eat, living nothing but 600 years. And then when they went to eating like Moses, they went down to 100 and some years. And then when they went to eating like Peter and Paul, they was just promised nothing but 70 years. Because the worse the diet became. Notice in the days of Adam, they was only eating from the tree. Then he was, started eating bad, and it's called his bad that he ate the wrong thing. And it's caused him to now have to die. And now, as he eating the wrong thing, now, if you notice when they got on the ark and came off the ark, he had to reiterate it to them, right? He had to reiterate it to them in Genesis 9:5 and say, I'm going to reiterate this thing to you. Don't eat anything with the blood of life in it. So he had to reiterate it to them. Now he said, I'm going to let you eat chicken and fish, and I'm going to let you eat a little creeping thing, but don't eat no beasts, no land beasts or anything like that. But then when you fast forward it and the people were sent into the days of Egypt, when they was in Egypt, Egypt had them doing all kind of slavery, eating out of their flesh pots and stuff like that. They was living the life in Egypt now. They was doing everything wrong. But then Moses left and learned some ways of God and came in to teach the people the ways of God, his people the ways of God, which were cleanliness. Come out of that filth y'all living in and let me show you the ways to cleanliness. So he took them in the wilderness to clean them and purge them away from their activities that they were doing in Egypt. And at the time, they were doing all things that were wickedness in Egypt. If you notice, there came a time when they got mad at Moses and Aaron and said, hey, you pull us out here in the wilderness for us to die. You got us looking scrawny. You got us eating nothing but manna, fruits growing on the ground. We want meat. And he said, that's what he said. We want meat. And they said, got so mad, they said, you should have left us in Egypt when we were eating out of their flesh pot. And he said, well, that's what you want meat? I'm going to give you meat until it starts coming out of your, you start vomiting out of your mouth. So he gave it to them and they what? Started spitting up the next day. And he told, hey, they went back to eating what? The stuff that he provided. Only God provided the food that grows from the ground. Man make everything else we eat. We go into the store, man got his hands on everything else. But man can't do nothing to that tree. All he can do is plant it, but he still has to wait on who to give the increase. Huh? God. God can only grow an apple. Man can see what an apple is made of, but he can't make an apple. And he never can make an apple in the laboratory. It got to come from. Yeah. So that's the tree. You go back to that, you can live long, healthy, and never. You can do what Jesus said. He came to show us how to what? Take the pains out of death. You died, but let's not be, in sorrows and aches and pains. Let's die of an old age. We just say, hey, I'm tired of living, or something like that. We don't have to die because we haven't taken care of the temple, right? And if you look in Philippians tell you all day long, that chapter tell you, know ye not that your body is what? The temple of God. You're not yourself. Any man destroy this body, God will destroy him. You see what I'm saying? So it's imperative that you take care of this body. I'm just telling you, I'm not making this up. It's in the Bible. We can read it. So think about it.